Hi guys, welcome back to Bob's Fan TV, and today we're back with another video doing the match reaction to last night's 2-1 defeat against Shamrock Rovers in Tallaght Stadium. Yeah, look, I don't think it was a bad performance. I think there were positives to take from it in terms of the performance in parts, but you know, with what we're fighting for, with what's on the line, you know, you're just kind of hoping that we aren't looking back at that result at the end of the season as one that really cost us in the end. But yeah, 2-1. We didn't start the game well. You know, we went behind within 12 minutes. You know, Megason gives the ball away. You know, allows Burke in. Should probably be closed down better by Akadena, or Akadena kind of backs off, and Burke has a go, and it goes in off the right hand post. And yeah, look, it's a disappointing start, of course. You know, you know, when you're conceding that early into a derby, you know, it is a real disappointment. And yeah, after that we kind of just never really got into it. You know, we didn't really show any kind of fight, not the level that's required in a Dublin derby anyway. And we eventually did get going. It did take us a while, but about half an hour in, we started to get going. You know, we had a couple of good chances. Tierney, you know, has a shot inside the box. McGinty, you know, saves it. Then Clark has another chance after that just goes past the post. And you know, we were starting to knock on the door a little bit. We were starting to show a bit more fight, a bit more energy, and then we got the equaliser. It's an absolutely brilliant ball in from Dale Rooney right onto the head of James Clark, and he heads it home, and it's 1-1. And I think we deserved it from how we'd been playing in the minutes before. And yeah, you know, we ended the half really well, and we were hoping that, you know, we'd be able to keep it up, but wasn't to be. Obviously, I think what was it, 5 minutes in, we were 2-1 down. You know, again, you know, Akadena kind of, you know, he allows Honnington to go past him quite easily. Honnington drives forward, goes past a couple of players. He was able to find Mandrew then, and he puts it past Casper. And yeah, look, it's a real disappointment, because, you know, we'd ended the half so well, and then when you come out and concede that early, it does kill the momentum a little bit. But we probably didn't respond as well as we did to going 1-0 down in the first half. You know, we got forward a couple of times, had a few chances. You know, Clark, you know, McGinty support, you go, and Clark nearly catches him off his line. You know, could have had a couple of penalties as well. You know, look, James Taylor, you know, had a claim, and you know, the referee gave a free out and booked him for diving. But I mean, I don't know if that was a penalty, but I think the one on Parsons, to me, looked like a bit of a stonewaller. Even from where we were in the away end, you know, sometimes it can be kind of hard to see, but even from, I haven't seen it back from telly, but to me, it looked like an absolute stonewaller. But look, you know, we know it's a common theme in the past where we've gone to Tallaght and, you know, had, you know, many penalty claims that have been, you know, waved away that probably should have been given. But I don't think it was down to a lack of effort. You know, I thought the performance overall was good. We responded well from going a goal down. We probably just didn't do enough in the second half to get anything from the game. And look, you know, there really isn't any time to dwell on it now. You know, we've got a week, you know, break, but you know, after that we go to Galway, and then there's, you know, a couple of Dublin derbies to come at Dalymount, and then obviously draw it away. So, you know, we've got to give everything in those 4 games now. You know, there's a couple of results last night that made the race for Europe a bit tighter. You know, Shells beating Waterford, which was probably expected, but you know, it's not great for us when we've lost. You know, they're only 5 points behind us now, I think. So look, there's no doubt that race for Europe is going to go down to the wire. And look, we've just got to give everything now in these last 4 games to get us over the line. But look, there were, like we said, there were positives to take from the performance, at least. You know, there were some really good individual performances. I thought Devoy, again, just showing why he's just absolutely the best midfielder in the league. James Clark was good. I thought Kane Byrne was quite solid. A couple of maybe performances that weren't so good. You know, Akadena probably could have done better for Burke's goal. Could have closed him down a bit better. Megason probably wasn't at the level we know he can get to. But there's no doubt that there was effort on show there. But look, you know, at this stage of the season, we need to be getting results. And look, we've still got 4 games. We're still in a relatively decent position, you know, 3rd in the table. We're only a point still behind Derry. You know, we're absolutely still in a good position. But look, we just got to really push now for in these next 4 games and get as many wins as we can. And just simply get over the line and get us into Europe. So yeah, that's where I'll end it. Make sure like, subscribe, share, comment down below your thought about the game, and I'll see you for the preview for the Galway game next week. Bye bye.